February 17th at 1 a.m. You shall be back here, and then your next court day is February the 23rd. Both of those dates are conditioned to your bond. Do you understand that? Yes, sir. Okay, thank you very much. Gerald Beckner. Good morning. Cumberland versus Gerald Beckner. 22 CR, is it? Excuse me. Hello. On the bench. Well, what do you got real quick? Well, that's fine. Keep the same bond, okay? Mr. Beckner, you were born in 1977. Yes, sir. Last four digits, social security number is 4499. Yes. You have counsel with you today. You have an attorney? No, sir. No. Have you filled out the affidavit?
I need to.
Do what?
I had to take a look for NCR. We covered that on, but I hadn't seen.
I'm more interested in his ability to afford a lawyer. Did you do that?
We have not done that.
Okay, you need to go with her here. Come over here. Okay, let's go to Amanda Branham. Commonwealth versus Amanda Branham, 22 CR 0047. Are you Amanda Branham? Born in 1984, last four digits, social security number. What?
947.
Okay,
Sorry.
we're on a diversion revocation. What does the Commonwealth have to say? Y'all move to the left.
Your Honor, Ms. Branham has a motion to revoke imposed sentence on diversion. She's had 3 positive tests for methamphetamine, had outpatient treatment, then she had an alteration of a drug screen, went to a treatment facility shortly, and then walked off from that. It's getting to the point either she's going to have to get some kind of treatment, comply, or go to prison.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I think yesterday we had spoken about possibly doing a drug court referral.
Who had spoken about that?
Mr. Stockton and I, and Ms. Branham is okay with that.
I'm not inclined to do that. You know,
And she did get herself back into Brightview treatment
I'm
while
not
this was
trying to do
ongoing.
that. She's had multiple chances. You know, and I just don't think there's any possibility for being compliant with drug court. It's a very rigorous program. I'm just not inclined to do that. So that's what I'm going to do. And you know, you have anything to say to me about why I shouldn't do this?
The reason I left treatment early was to get my children. I left 4 days early. To get my 4 children. My husband is still in active addiction. I had to get my kids. I mean, I didn't want to leave treatment. I mean, I was only 4 days shy.
Okay, well, you've convinced me. Okay, you gave a legitimate reason. Okay, now this is your one chance.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll sign a drug court referral. And next time anybody offers you anything, you get anything, you just take a look that somebody else will be picking up your children for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yes, sir.
If that's not enough motivation for you, then I don't know what will be. So I'll sign the referral and we'll get the process going. Okay.
Thank you.
One thing, I don't know her situation, how she's being monitored. I think she needs to be on home incarceration or something. She doesn't need that around.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on a curfew. You leave your house for church, doctor, or work. You're not working, of course.
I had an interview yesterday, but I'm not working.
Do I?
I had an interview yesterday, but I'm not.
Well, that's a
I'm
great,
out.
a great step. Now, you can also go to school events for your children. Take children to school. Go get the children, go to a basketball game for the children, something like that. Other than that, you're to be at home. Okay? Thank you.
Honor.
Denzel Burton. Commonwealth versus Denzel Burton, 22 CR 0058. Are you Denzel Burton?
Yes, sir.
What year were you born?
10/10/71,
Last four digits of your social security number.
1609.
This is 22 CR 0058. You're here for sentencing. If you had an opportunity to look at the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation parole,
Yes, sir.
is it substantially correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there any reason why this gentleman should not be sentenced?
No, no.
On a plea of guilty of trafficking and controlled substance, first degree, first offense, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 10 years, serve 6 months in jail with a balance probated for 5 years supervised. He shall enter and complete a long-term rehab program through probation and parole. Forfeit $13 to the Commonwealth of Kentucky and receive credit for jail time. Court costs are what?
$215.
$215. You'll start paying that when you get released. Have you served you hadn't served your 6 months yet?
Yes, I served. I was over there.
You served out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well,
He's in the rehab still.
you need some time to pay the 215.
Yes, sir. I'm in. the
Okay,
treatment
well, I'll
school.
let you start paying it at $30 a month. First payment is 30 days from today, okay?
Okay, I'm on phase 2, then you step up to 3 to where you go to work. If I'm not able to work by then, is that gonna be a problem, sir?
Well, you know, $30 a month shouldn't be that big a problem. Are you drawing anything?
No, no, sir.
Well, I'm gonna leave it at $30 a month. You get an odd job or something.
Yeah, as soon as I'm able to work, I make it to that phase, I'll be able to go straight to work. I'm in long-term treatment.
That was part of the field change that he had.
Where are you in long-term treatment at?
We're in Olive Hill, Kentucky.
Okay, when you get out of long-term treatment, then the payment will start then. Okay, 30 days after you get out of long-term treatment, okay? Okay. Okay, well, good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Grady Finley. Grady Finley. Commonwealth versus Grady Finley, 22 CR 0094. Are you Grady Finley?
Yes, Your
Were you born in 1962?
Yes, sir.
What are the last four digits of your social security number?
0167.
You're here in 22 CR 0094 for a pretrial conference. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
No, we had the last negotiation down there with Mr. Bassett. We discussed this case. Mr. Finley has some records that he wants to furnish me with reviews for the bank records. It looks like when he was traded with the VFW, he was using his account plus the VFW's account to pay bills. So I'm gonna have to get those records and sort through it. So I'm asking for another negotiation date on February 7th.
The negotiation day is set February 17th at 1.
Your Honor, could we set that 1 month further down the road to make sure that Mr. Finley has enough time to get everything?
That's all right. We'll say it.
What's going to take Mr. Finley more than 30 days to get everything? I don't understand. I don't tally with these things, okay? So have him have his stuff ready by February 7th. He's got 2 bank accounts. It's not like he's dealing with something else, okay? So he'll be here February at 1 p.m., February 17th at 1 p.m. and the next court date's February 23rd, okay? Thank you. Billy Huddleston. Commonwealth versus Billy Huddleston. Morning. Are you Billy Huddleston?
Yes, Your Honor.
You born in 1962?
Yes, Your Honor.
What are the last four digits of your social security number? Pardon?
3418.
That's not what I have here. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, okay. Got them. No, wrong one. You're here today for pretrial conference, Mr. Huddleston. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Your Honor, we have a felony plea.
Okay. A motion has been tendered that says you wish to enter a plea today. Is that correct? Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol? Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same person named in indictment number 22 CR 0097?
Yes, sir.
Have you discussed this matter with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
You have reviewed the evidence and you feel like you're fully advised about your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes, sir.
No, you do not have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea, I need to know that you understand those rights.
Yes, sir.
You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. You have a right to speed trial, but jury right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, right to produce evidence, right to call witnesses in your favor, right to appeal this matter at higher court if you lose. You have a right to acquire the Commonwealth to prove on a reasonable doubt that you're guilty charged against you. Understand
Yes.
that by entering a plea of guilty, you give up all those rights. Now, I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided by law. I do not have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting your recommendation, I will wait the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you'll have the right to withdraw your plea. You step to the left here. What is the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 1 year to serve. The Commonwealth will oppose probation. The defendant shall pay court costs at the discretion of the court, and the defendant agrees to have any and all drug paraphernalia and contraband disposed of in accordance with the laws of the Commonwealth.
Is that what you agreed to? Are you pleading guilty because you did commit the act charged in the indictment as amended?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty with your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Okay, knowing your constitutional rights, I've explained to him, is it still your desire to give up those rights and allow me to fix this sentence?
Yes, sir.
You understand that by entering a guilty plea, any future convictions could be enhanced. You're already a convicted felon, but this will add another felon. You understand that? Is that your signature on the document?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the plea order and sentencing on February 23rd. Okay, the formation parole officer. Then you'll be in custody. You meet with probation parole officer first, okay? Thank you. Melissa Longston. Good morning. Good morning. Commonwealth versus Melissa Longston, 22 CR 00088. Are you Melissa Longston?
Yes, sir.
Born in 1973?
Yeah.
Last 4 digits, your social security number.
8596.
Okay, you're here for pre-trial conference. What do we have?
We have a felony plea, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Longston, a motion has been filed that says that you wish to enter a plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same person named in indictment number 22 CR 0088?
Yes.
Is your judgment impaired in any way? Is your
No.
judgment impaired today?
Yes, I'm fine.
You're fine, okay. Have you discussed this matter with your attorney and are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to review all the evidence the Commonwealth has? You feel like you're fully informed about your case?
Yes.
You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea, I need to know that you understand those rights. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Right to speedy trial by jury, the right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you. The right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses in your favor, right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose, the right to acquire the Commonwealth prove on a reasonable doubt that you're guilty. You understand that by entering a plea today, you give up those rights. I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation. I may apply any range of sentence allowed to law. I do not have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting your recommendation, I'll review the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole. In the event I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you will have the right to withdraw your plea and proceed to trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you move to the left, please. What is the Commonwealth's recommendation, counsel?
Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a controlled substance first degree, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 3 years, probated for 5 years. Probation is to be supervised. The defendant shall pay court costs at the discretion of the court. The defendant shall obtain gainful employment or do 30 hours per week of community service until gainful employment is obtained. The defendant agrees to have any and all drug paraphernalia and contraband disposed of in accordance with the law of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And the defendant shall remain on active supervision until any and all fines and court costs are paid in full and until further request of probation and parole.
Is that what you agreed to?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you did commit the acts charged in the indictment?
Yes, sir.
Did you do so of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Knowing your constitutional rights have explained to you, is it still your desire to give up these rights, enter a plea of guilty to charges, and allow the court to fix your punishment within the range permitted by law? You understand that after entering a guilty plea, any future convictions that you have would be enhanced in the range of penalty under persistent penalty offender law. You understand that?
Yes.
Set your signature on the docket.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I accept the agreement order pre-sentence investigation report and schedule sentencing for February the 23rd.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Brian Markham. Morning. Are you Brian Markham?
Yes, sir.
Born in 1982. What are the last 4 digits of your social security number?
8609.
Here today for the purpose of arraignment in 22 CR 00101. You have an attorney?
I did have in district court.
Yeah,
Yes, Your Honor.
yeah, I'll continue his appointment. Yes, we're here today for the purpose of arraignment. You have the right to remain silent. The grand jury of Cumberland County has charged you by indictment of possession of controlled substance in the first degree, tampering with physical evidence, possession of drug paraphernalia, being a persistent penalty. Counselor, you acknowledge the identity of your client, receipt of the indictment, wait formal reading and arraignment, enter a plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'll set you for negotiation day on February 17th at 1 p.m. And your next court appearance, February 23rd at 9 a.m. Both of them are conditions of your bond.
Now, what's the conditions of this bond about being able to freely operate in the community?
He's supposed to be at his home. He's supposed to leave there to go to the church, the doctor, or work. Other than that, you stay in your home. If you had reports of being out and about,
I've just had, he's been, had extensive dealings with him in Clinton County.
do what?
I've had extensive dealings with him in Clinton County and I didn't think he was working, so I just didn't want. him
Are you
to
working?
around.
Not right now. I've just applied for some jobs though.
Well, those are the conditions of your bond. And if you violate the conditions of your bond, it'd be revoked and you'll have to sit to it. You set your trial, okay?
We put curfew on his bond, but when we don't have his bond, they did not put curfew on it. So not on.
Okay, the jail made a mistake in not putting curfew on his bond decision. So we'll add that to the bond decision. So he might not have known.
I understand.
Long-term, right, it's not.
Bond decision was right. The bond was written wrong. Okay,
Work, church,
Okay.
doctor, other than that,
Charles
there's-
Berry McCoy. Okay. Says pretrial conference, surety requesting to come off bond. Who's your attorney?
Let's go, sir.
What do you have?
Your Honor, in this case, we were set for a pretrial conference, but we are still waiting on the lab report to come back from the lab. So we were gonna ask to set this for another settlement conference. I know the Commonwealth has filed a motion in this case.
I follow the motion to revoke bond based on the fact that he failed a drug test at the sheriff's office. He was positive for synthetic marijuana, and it looks like alcohol, ethyl chloride. I don't know what that is.
Well, there's a request of the surety to come off the bond anyway.
Okay.
So I'm gonna, I'm gonna let the surety off. And we can take proof on it whether you want to revoke it, but I'm gonna set the bond at a significant amount. What was the previous bond amount, you know? How much? Okay, well, I'm gonna do $25,000 property bond and anchor bracelets if you get out of that. You understand that? We cannot, you have to take this stuff seriously.
Yes.
You'll dig yourself a hole that you won't be able to get out of. So you're in a custody of jailer. 17th at 1 p.m., the 23rd at the court appearance at 9. Wesley McCall.
Thank you.
Good morning. Commonwealth versus Wesley McGall, 22 CR 00102. Mr. McGall, you born in 1970.
Yes, sir.
Last 4 digits, social security number 8985.
Yes, sir.
You represent this gentleman.
I did the district court, Your Honor.
Continue the appointment. You're here today for the purpose of arraignment. You have the right to remain silent. The grand jury of Cumberland County has returned an indictment charging you with possession of controlled substance in the first degree, tampering with physical evidence, possession of drug paraphernalia, no operator's license, no expired registration plate, being a persistent felony offender. You understand those charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm gonna send a reciprocal discovery order here. Which means the Commonwealth provides certain information to help you prepare for your case. You'll be back here on February the 17th at 1 p.m. for negotiation.
Yes, sir.
And February the 23rd for your next court appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I don't know if I said it. I'm sorry. We do enter plead not guilty to all charges on his behalf for repeated indictment.
Well, maybe I forgot to ask you. Acknowledge receipt of that. Did you find a way formal where you can arraignment there, plead not guilty for serving out pre-trial motions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
John Metz. This is an active warrant.
We'll put him in CIC.
Stanley Michael. Commonwealth versus Stanley Michael. Are you Stanley Michael?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You born in 1968.
Yes, sir.
Last 4 digits, social security number 3511.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're here in 22 CR 00090 for pretrial conference.
Judge, we come up for the conference on Mr. Michael. There'd been a glitch in the discovery. We now have received that, would request the court to allow us one more pretrial.
Do you need to be a negotiation day? Negotiation day, 1 p.m. on February 17th. Your next court appearance is on the 23rd, which you'll enter a plea that day, or we'll set a jury trial, okay?
Thank you, Judge. You have a good day.
You too, sir. Cammy Nafong. Cammy Nafong, looks like the active warrant on Cammy Nafong.
Yes.
Angela Otney. Commonwealth versus Angela Otney, 22 CR 00100. Are you Angela Otney?
Yes, sir.
You born in 1976.
Yes,
What are the last four digits of your social security number?
6953.
Hey, we're here today on a pretrial conference. What do you have?
We have a diversion plea, Your Honor.
Motion's been tendered that says you wish to enter a plea today. Is that correct?
Yes,
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
Is the plea freely and voluntarily given?
yes,
Are you the same person named in indictment number 22 CR 00100?
yes,
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
no, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Have you discussed this matter with your attorney and reviewed the evidence?
Yes,
Feel like you're fully informed?
yes,
Okay, are you satisfied with her representation?
yes,
You have certain rights under the Kentucky United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea, I need to know that you understand those rights. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. You have a right to speak trial by jury, right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial. The right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, the right to produce evidence, the right to call the witnesses in your favor, the right to appeal this matter to a higher court if you lose, the right to require the Commonwealth to prove on a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of the charge against you. You understand that by entering a guilty plea, you give up all those rights. You understand that? I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence allowed by law. I do not have to accept their recommendation in the event that after reviewing the pre-sentence investigation report, I do not accept the recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence. You will have the right to withdraw your plea and proceed to trial.
yes,
You understand that?
yes,
Have you previously been diverted in the last 5 years?
No.
You had any felonies in the last 5 years?
no,
Do you understand that if you complete the diversion program, the charges will be dismissed? You understand that?
yes,
You understand that if you do not complete, you will be brought back to court and be sentenced.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and if you want to come over now, what is the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a controlled substance first degree, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 3 years, pretrial diverted for 5 years. Diversion is to be supervised. The defendant shall pay court costs at the discretion of the court. The defendant shall obtain gainful employment or do 30 hours per week community service until gainful employment is obtained. The defendant agrees to have any and all drug paraphernalia and contraband disposed of in accordance with the laws of the Commonwealth. And the defendant shall remain on active supervision until any and all fines and court costs are paid in full and until further request of probation and parole.
Is that your understanding, the recommendation?
Yes,
Are you pleading guilty because you did commit the acts charged in the indictment or as amended?
yes,
You're doing so of your own free will?
yes,
Know your constitutional rights that explain to you that it's still your desire to give up those rights, enter a plea of guilty, and allow the court to fix your punishment.
yes, Your Honor.
Is that your signature on the document?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'll accept the agreement and sign the diversion order. You need to meet with the probation and parole officer. $215. You need some time to pay that?
Yes,
I'll let you pay it $30 a month. The first payment starting 30 days from today. Do you have a job anywhere?
yes, I do.
Where are you working?
Driveline,
Where?
Driveline. It's retail merchandising.
What-
Driveline,
It's retail merchandising.
where's it at?
Dollar Generals, like all Dollar Generals.
Oh, it's the retail merchandising for Dollar General stores.
No, okay, well, good. Now you could make an extra trip to this one here in town. They could use some help. Okay, thank you very much. Good luck to you. Kenneth Pulliam. Commonwealth versus Kenneth Pulliam, 22 CR 0089. Are you Kenneth Pulliam? Yes. Born in 1973. Last four digits, social security number 3449. Yes. You're here today for a pretrial conference.
Yes, Your Honor. Just received the conflict counsel in this case, Your Honor, with regard to Kenneth William client. Not had a really good opportunity to discuss this matter with the Commonwealth as far as negotiation. So we'd be requesting a negotiation day and then.
Could you be prepared for trial next week? We got a day open.
Oh, you do? Well, I think we may
Okay,
need
well, I'll give you,
maybe a little more time than that, Your Honor.
I don't think your client would want a speedy trial that way. He wants to get the opportunity to look at the facts, right?
Yes.
Okay, we come back here on February 17th at 1 o'clock for a negotiation day. February 23rd at 9 a.m. is your next court date. Both of them are conditions of your bond, okay? Elizabeth Scott. You Elizabeth Scott,
I am, Your Honor.
okay, were you born in 1992?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits, social security number 5440.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're here today for a diversion revocation and a pretrial conference.
Is this the one we couldn't talk about because she had a baby?
Yes. Your Honor, Mr. Stockton and I had discussed putting this off for a settlement conference. She's working with her officer, her probation officer. She did just have a baby right before Christmas. He's right at a month old.
Yep. Be 2 months, the 7th of February.
Sorry, he'll be, so we were gonna set it for a settlement conference on the 17th if the court is okay with that.
Were you working anywhere before you got this pregnant?
Yes, at IGA.
IGA.
Mhm.
What was the violation? What's this new
It's a
charge?
new felony case, Your Honor. She allegedly took some lottery tickets when she was working at Mint Park.
Okay, we don't have a February 17th
So we'll see if we can resolve all the cases.
and then the 23rd with the next court date. Both of them are convictions. What's the amount of lottery tickets
I'd have to live.
allegedly?
I don't believe I have an exact amount here. Oh, yeah, it's $1,278.
Has there been, as the complaining witness said if they would change their attitude about this, if they got paid back the
I'm sure they'd be.
$1,278, a word to the wise is sufficient. Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay. Thank you very much. If I was gonna seal $1,278, I'd go for the cash, you know, the probability is not that you're gonna win the lottery, you know. Commonwealth versus Clay Smith. Are you Clay Smith?
Yes, sir.
Okay, were you born in 1999?
Yes, sir.
Or the last four digits social security number?
3796.
You're here on 22 CR 0050, a diversion revocation. What does the Commonwealth have to say? Y'all step to your left here.
Your Honor, on September 29th of 2022, Mr. Smith was notified of a drug screen. He tested positive for cocaine, opiates, namely Percocet. Then on December 22nd, 2022, he was positive for cocaine and marijuana. I've spoken with Ms. Clooney about this case. I normally don't file a motion to revoke after two positive tests. But she said Mr. Smith works out of town, and she thinks that out of state, and that's part of his problem as far as his drug use. And I was going to recommend drug court in this case. I also recommend that he be under some type of lockdown until he gets. Engage any further use of substances.
What do you think?
Your Honor, with regard to the drug court, my client's amenable to entering in that, and I think recognizing that that might be beneficial in this case.
Where do you live?
Albany, Kentucky.
Where?
Albany.
He lives with his folks, Your Honor. He lives with his parents, and if the court is inclined to impose any kind of restrictions or any kind of lockdown, as Mr. Stockton referred to, we would be requesting maybe an ankle monitor in this
I'm
case.
gonna put my normal conditions. You need to stay at the home of your parents unless you're going to church, work, or the doctor until we get this settled. I'll sign a referral to the drug court. Now, I know the urge to take controlled substances, drugs is probably a primal sort of thing that you don't think you can get over. But if you don't get over it, you're going to the penitentiary. You understand? I don't want to send you to penitentiary. I don't come here every day. I come here just thinking, I hope I don't have to send anybody to penitentiary, but you will go. Because, you know, I'm sure your parents are concerned about you, but I don't have to bump into them over to IGA or somewhere and let them explain to me why you got a hold of some fentanyl or something and some drug that you didn't know what it was. You know, there's dangerous stuff out there right now and you can't trust this stuff. You know that, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, we'll have you back here. Again, if you violate this drug court thing. Other than that, I won't have to see you again. So go into the drug court and work hard at it, okay? Who'll be in contact with him about it? You give him, of course. Okay. William Spears. William Spears. Did we get the Commonwealth versus William Spears, 22 CR 0087. Are you William Spears? Were you born in 1974? Yes. Last four digits of your social security number are what?
1612.
You're here today for the purpose of sentencing. Yes, sir. You looked at the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it substantially correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there any reason why this gentleman should not be sentenced today?
No, Your Honor.
For plea of guilty to possession of controlled substance, the defendant shall receive 3 years probated for 5 years supervised. For plea of guilty to failure to maintain insurance, he shall receive a fine of $500. For plea of guilty to license not in possession. $25. He should pay the fine and court costs of that. What's the total amount?
$795.
$795. You need some time to pay that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'll let you pay it $40 a month, so payment starting 30 days from today. Okay, can you handle that? Yeah. No, it's okay. You need to go there, meet with the probation control officer. Okay, the Jerry Winningham active warrant. And we need to go back up to Gerald Beck. Gerald Beck. Mr. Beckner is eligible for a the appointment of counsel.
No, back, he's back.
Here today for the purpose of arraignment, Mr. Beckner, was born in 1977. It's part of the last four digits of social security number. 4499. Yeah, let's see, I have his file here. Yeah. The grand jury of Cumberland County has returned an indictment charging you with possession of controlled substance in the first degree methamphetamine. And possession of drug paraphernalia. You understand those charges? Counselor, you acknowledge the identity of the client, received the indictment, waive formal reading and arraignment. You're pleading not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Beckner, I notice here that you're not working. Do you have any possible excuse for the fact that you're not employed?
Well, I filed for disability and I've been,
Do what?
I have filed for disability. That's ongoing. Also, I have been working, but I haven't had no work since Christmas in carpentry work and remodeling homes. Big kind of slow spot on that. And I've also been talking about getting CDLs through a company.
Well, you are a member of a great segment of our population, which we call lack of being in the workforce. You're not participating in the workforce. I'm going to take a look at that. You know, I mean, right now the government's paying for your lawyer, paying for your food stamp, paying for this, and you're dependent on getting on a disability. Yet you tell me that you're able to do carpenter work or get a CDL. All that doesn't go together to me. You need to reflect upon that, because I'm going to reflect upon it on whether you're going to be a productive citizen or not when I take a look at this. You understand? So next time you come back here, don't you, try to be pulling your load too, okay? It'll go a long way on what happens to you. Okay, we'll hear a negotiation date of February 17th at 1 o'clock and the next court date on the 23rd. Is that right, Mr. Stockton? Yes. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, let's go on the jail docket. Adair County, are you there? Well, I guess I'm sure it's there to be censored. Are they not on that?
I'll fix them. They're on there.
No. Okay.
Hey, I'll do whatever I'm told to do.
I'll turn that correct job. Go off your record.
We're rounding them up now.
138 for me. I'm gonna do that.
It's like we're on break.
You're muted, Judge.
I'm muted, Miss
Oh,
Sarah.
you okay, you're good.
I don't see it. Okay. Commonwealth versus Paul Bricker. Are you Paul Bricker?
Yes, sir.
We're here today for a pretrial conference. What's the Commonwealth have to say?
Your Honor, this is a serious case. It's 3 counts of rape, 3 counts of incest and strangulation. And I've also been appointed special prosecutor on a case in Adair that involves accusations against Mr. Bricker that I anticipate that'll be presented to the Adair County grand jury. So we probably need a little bit of time on this case.
That's correct, Your Honor. I will also be representing Mr. Bricker in Adair County as well on that case.
We'll set this for March the 16th. 9 a.m.
Thank
And
you, ma'am.
I'll let y'all go ahead and decide what negotiation days you want. Okay, counsel, both of them. Okay,
We should be prepared to set one after that.
thank you very much. Charles Brown.
Charles,
Commonwealth versus Charles Brown. 21 CR 0089 and 22 CR 0034. Are you Charles Brown?
Yes.
Were you born in 1980?
Yes.
What are the last 4 digits of your social security number?
8162.
You're here on pretrial conferences on both of those cases. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
We have a felony plea, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Brown, a motion has been tendered that says you wish to enter a plea today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes.
Are you the same person named in the 2 indictments, 21 CR 0089 and 22 CR 0034?
Yes.
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No.
Have you discussed this matter with your attorney and are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes.
Have you had plenty of time to review the evidence? You feel like you're fully informed about your case?
Yeah.
Before I can accept a plea, you have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. I need to know that you are aware of those rights. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. You have a right to a speedy trial by jury, to a right to be represented by counsel at the trial, to confront and cross-examine all witnesses, to produce evidence, to call witnesses in your favor, and have process issued to compel their attendance. You have a right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose, the right to require the Commonwealth to prove without a reasonable doubt that you are guilty of the charges against you. You understand that by entering a guilty plea today, you will give up those rights. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, now I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided by law. I do not have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting a recommendation, I will await the pre-sentence investigation report, probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence than you have agreed to, you have the right to withdraw your plea of guilty and proceed to trial. What is the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. Upon a plea of guilty to criminal attempt to commit rape first degree, 3 counts in case number 21 CR 89, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 15 years on each charge to run concurrently for a total of 15 years to serve. Upon a plea of guilty to assault fourth in case number 21 CR 89, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 12 months to serve. Upon a plea of guilty to criminal attempt to commit sodomy first degree, 2 counts in case number 22 CR 34, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 15 years on each charge to run concurrently for a total of 15 years to serve. Upon a plea of guilty to sexual abuse first degree in case number 22 CR 34, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 10 years to serve. The 10-year sentence in case number 22 CR 34 and the 15-year sentence in 21 CR 34 are to run consecutively for a total of 25 years to serve. The 25-year sentence in case number 22 CR 34 is to run concurrently with the 15-year sentence in case number 21 CR 89 for a total of 25 years to serve. The Commonwealth will oppose probation and shock probation.
Counselor, is that what your client agreed to?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, is that what you agreed to? Mr. Brown, is that what you agreed to? Are you pleading guilty because you did commit the acts charged in the indictment? Okay. Is that microphone on there? Will you say something? Just say hello.
Are you talking about ours?
The jail, yeah.
Can you hear me?
I couldn't hear what he was saying. I can hear you now.
Sorry.
Knowing your constitutional rights, have explained it to you. Is it still your desire to give up those rights, enter a plea of guilty, and allow the court to fix your punishment? Yeah. You understand that by entering the guilty plea today, any future convictions, as far as the range of penalties, could be increased because you're a convicted felon, and you also will be on an offender list. You understand that? Is
Yes.
that your signature? Hold the signature up, the paper up there, counsel. Is that your signature on there, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I accept the agreement order pre-sentence investigation report to be done by probation and parole. Schedule sentencing for February the 23rd. Christy Brown. Commonwealth versus Christy Brown. 21 CR 0090 and 22 CR 0035. Are you Christy Brown?
Yes.
You're here today for a pretrial conference. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
We have a felony plea, Your Honor.
Excuse me. A motion has been tendered, Ms. Brown, that says you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct? Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
Okay. Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes.
Are you the same person named in indictment number 21 CR 0090 and indictment number 22 CR 0035?
Yes.
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No.
Have you discussed this matter with your attorney, and do you feel like you're fully informed about your case? Okay.
Yes.
Are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes.
You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea of guilty, I need to know that you understand those rights. You have the right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. You have a right to a speedy trial by jury, right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial. The right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses to testify in your behalf, and to have process issued, compel their attendance. You have a right to appeal this matter to a higher court if you lose, a right to call the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of charges against you. You understand by entering a guilty plea today that you give up all those rights. You understand that?
Yes.
I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided below. I do not have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting the recommendation, I will await the pre-sentence investigation report from probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have the right to withdraw your plea of guilty and proceed to trial. What is the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. Upon a plea of guilty to complicity to sexual abuse first degree in case number 22 CR 35, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 10 years to serve. The Commonwealth will oppose probation and shock probation. The defendant shall have no contact with the victims, MLB and MSB.
Is that your understanding? Is that what you agreed to? Ma'am, is that what you agreed to?
Yes,
Has anyone threatened or coerced you in any way to get you to enter this plea?
Thank you, sir.
Are you pleading guilty to about your own free will because you did commit the acts involved?
yes,
Knowing your constitutional rights, that I explained to you, is it still your desire to give up these rights and enter a plea and allow me to set the penalty within the range provided by laws? You understand that any future felony pleas or convictions would you could be enhanced as far as the range of penalty because of this plea. You understand that?
yes.
Would you, counsel, would you hold the signature page up? You have the plea agreement?
Judge, I don't have a copy of it. The clerk has my only copy.
Clerk, do you have a copy?
I do.
We need, Mr. Bailiff, will you take this plea agreement back to the attorney back there?
Thank you. Get back to the attorney. Don Holly.
Would you hold the signature up to the camera? Is that your signature on there, ma'am?
Yes,
I'll accept the agreement, order a pre-sentence investigation report to be done by probation and parole, and schedule a sentencing on February the 23rd.
Thank you, Your Honor.
David Davidson. Commonwealth versus David Davidson, 22 CR 00104 and 21 CR 0095. Are you David Davidson? Are you David Davidson?
Yes, sir.
What's your year of birth
5568
and the last four digits of your social security number?
1972.
Okay, on 00104, you're here for the purpose of arraignment. Your attorney is on the line here, Ms. Samantha Costello. You have the right to remain silent. The grand jury of Cumberland County has charged you with burglary in the second degree, criminal mischief in the first degree, and being a persistent felony offender. Take that back to her. You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Counselor, you acknowledge the identity of your client, receive the indictment, waive formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll set a negotiation date on February 17th. And the next court appearance is the 23rd, and both of them are conditions of bond. Oscar Farley. Commonwealth versus Oscar Fairley, 19 CR 0089. Mr. Fairley, are you born in 1992?
Yes, sir.
What are the last four digits of your social security number?
5643.
Okay, Commonwealth is here on a diversion revocation. What do you have to say? Mr. Stockton? Mr. Stockton?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm just trying, my computer locked up on me there a second. Mr. Davidson has these two cases. We also have a case that's going to the grand jury today. I told Ms. Costello I would go ahead and send her the discovery on that so we could meet on these cases on the 17th, if that would be all right with the court. On all three cases and try to work all three cases.
I apologize. Jesse, are you, I thought that was on Mr. Davidson.
I'm sorry, my computer locked up on me there for a minute. Yeah, we're on Mr. Farley now, aren't we? Sorry about that. Yeah, this is a motion, second motion to revoke probation and impose sentence. Mr. Farley was terminated from drug court June 23rd of 22. He had multiple positive tests for drugs, and he absconded on that date or before that date.
Your Honor, I have spoken to Mr. Farley and he does wish to stipulate that he was terminated from drug court. He did want to explain to the court why he wasn't reporting, if the court would allow him to.
Well, he could explain that at sentencing, okay? When I consider whether I probate him or not. So I'm gonna revoke the pretrial diversion, order a pre-sentence investigation report to be done. He shall be here on February the 23rd for sentencing.
Understood, Your Honor.
Melanie Gardner. Commonwealth versus Melanie Gardner. 22 CR 00110. Miss Gardner, you're here for arraignment. Have a right to remain silent. What was your year of birth, ma'am?
What did it say?
What year were you born?
5/25/90.
Okay, and what are the last four digits of your social security number?
0114.
Okay, you're here in 22 CR 00110. You have the right to remain silent, as I previously told you. The grand jury of Cumberland County has returned an indictment charging you with possession of controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and public intoxication. You understand those charges? You understand the charges?
No, say that one more
Wait,
time.
wait, bring those back here.
Yeah,
I'm not
what did you
asking,
say?
no, you be quiet, okay?
Can you hear?
You have a right to remain silent. I'm not asking you whether you did or did not do these things. I'm asking you whether you understand what the charges are, okay? I don't want you to say anything that might incriminate you right now. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. The grand jury has charged you with possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and public intoxication. You understand what those charges are?
Yes.
Okay. Counselor, do you acknowledge the identity of your client, receipt of the indictment, waive formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll set up a negotiation day on the 17th of February, and the next court appearance is on the 23rd. Now, your attorney will be over to see, and any defenses you have, you can discuss those with her, and you'll be present on the 17th for a negotiation day to work this out with the Commonwealth, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Sonia Gross. Sonia Gross. Commonwealth versus Sonia Gross, 21 CR 0076. Are you Sonia Gross? Are you Sonia Gross?
Yes.
You're here today on a diversion revocation. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Your Honor, Ms. Gross has a 3-year sentence on possession of a controlled substance, first degree. She was supposed to be living in a sober living house. Her probation officer was advised that she was no longer staying there. Then she was arrested December the 7th in in Russell County. No, I believe it's in Barron County. And they were taking her to the jail, and she was so impaired that the jail wouldn't take her. She had to go to the hospital and get medically cleared before the jail would take her. So I've conferred with Ms. Costello on this case. I'm asking that she stay in jail until she's eligible to enter and complete drug court, or if she doesn't want to do that, asking the court to revoke her diversion.
Ms. Gross, do you want to attempt drug court?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Well, I will sign the referral order to drug court, and she shall remain incarcerated until the drug court can get her oriented and get her on that program. You know, you keep fooling with this stuff, you're gonna die, but you know that, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, well, I hope you work out this thing, and I won't have to, not that, I won't have to see you again if you make it through drug court. Next time you're on my docket will be when I dismiss everything, and I hope you make it. Okay,
Awesome. Thank you.
yeah, Michael Harris. Commonwealth versus Michael Harris, 21 CR 0021. Are you Michael Harris?
I am, Your Honor.
You were born in 1957.
That's correct.
And the last four digits of your social security number are 5785.
That's correct.
You're here today on a diversion revocation. What does the Commonwealth have to say? Put your microphone on, Mr. Stockton.
Yeah, Mr. Harris is on a 10-year sentence trafficking in a controlled substance first degree. He's being supervised by Haley Berry, and I got a report from her that he absconded as of November 2022.
What do you have to say, Ms. Costello?
Your Honor, we deny that. Mr. Harris was on a phone reporting, and he maintains that he did call in and he did report.
Okay. Is Miss Berry on the line? I know I spoke with Mr. Garner to try to have her lined up for today, but I don't see her on the Zoom.
Well, we'll schedule it for February the 23rd and issue a subpoena. Her to be
I
present.
will, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I don't
Thank
know
you.
what you want to do with Mr. Harris in the meantime. You want to keep him in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dennis Kempton. Counselor, as far as Mr. Harris is concerned, if you find out any information that gives any credence to what your client says, if you'll provide it to provide to Mr. Stockton, we'll take a look at his status then, okay?
Yeah, and I would ask Mr. Garner to get in touch with Miss Berry and have her to call me tomorrow as to why she didn't appear, and I want to discuss this case with her.
That'd be good. He said he would.
Thank you.
Commonwealth versus Dennis Kempton. Are you Dennis Kempton?
Yes, sir.
This is 19 CR 0047 on a diversion revocation. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Your Honor, Mr. Kempton has a 3-year sentence on possession. He was on February 26th, he was positive for methamphetamine. September 22nd of 2022, he was positive for methamphetamine. He was enrolled in CBI, which is community-based interventions. He went for a little while, and then on December 8th, Mr. Kempton reported and was positive for methamphetamines, and it looked like he had quit going to CBI at that time. After December, he didn't report back. And then he got a new arrest, reckless driving, DUI, possession of alcohol not in the original container. That's by the Cumberland County Sheriff's Department in case number 23T27, January 17th of this year.
What do you have to say, Ms. Costello?
Your Honor, we do stipulate that he was charged with a new crime. We do not admit guilt in that. In that case, I wanted to advise the court, the blood test is still pending on the DUI and has not yet.
Was it alcohol or was it an alcohol test that you?
They did a blood test, Your Honor. So it could take, they test for both when they do that, but sometimes they take 6 months to come back. So I checked, we don't know anything yet, and I don't expect to know anything for at least a couple of months. To the remaining allegations, Mr. Kempton does stipulate that he was positive and did not complete the outpatient treatment. He would ask this court to send him to long-term treatment so he can get back on track. He was.
I am fixing to send him to long-term treatment. And he absconded and he, and so I'm going to revoke his diversion, and we'll talk about what the charges, what might keep me from not probating him at the time, but I'm ordering a pre-sentence investigation report to be done. We'll have the sentencing to February the 23rd, okay? And Mr. Stockton, if you'll have the officer available
I
that,
will, I'll have.
that
a
date
Spanish,
is, okay. James Craig,
you know, what you do is subpoena for the next court date. On the DUI, it's on his probation revocation.
how do you pronounce your last name, sir?
Craigie.
Craigie? Okay, James Craigie, 22 CR 0042. Mr. Craigie, were you born in 1988?
Yes, sir.
What are the last four digits of your social security number?
6376.
You're here today for the purpose of arraignment. It does not appear that you have an attorney. Have you filled out the form? As, are you gonna have a private attorney or do you,
I was supposed to have Samantha Costello.
do you have DPA in district court? Ms. Costello, are you on there? Did you have?
Yes, Your
this-
Honor, I think we may have been appointed in district court. It's been a while for Mr. Craigie, so
The clerk says you were.
okay.
I'll continue that appointment. We're here today for the purpose of arraignment. Mr. Craigie, you have the right to remain silent. The grand jury of Cumberland County has charged you with possession of controlled substance in the first degree, possession of marijuana, and possession of drug paraphernalia. You understand what those charges are?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Costello, do you acknowledge the identity of your client, receive the indictment, waive formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
They set this for February the 17th for a negotiation day and February the 23rd for pretrial conference. Michael Lee Nethery.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, before we go off, Mr. Craigie, would the court consider a reduction? He's been unable, it's set at a surety bond, but they haven't had the assets to post a $15,000 surety bond. I don't know if the court would consider reducing the surety bond.
Who's posting it?
Was it your mom, Mr. Craigie? Was she who
Oh,
tried?
it was my fiance.
Fiance, I'm sorry.
Where does she live?
I originally lived in Bronson, Somerset. I was visiting my dad whenever I was picked up.
Does your fiance, he's asking where your fiance lives. Was that where you would?
Yeah, Bronson, Somerset.
Well, how do you feel about that, Mr. Stockton? Mr. Stockton? How do you feel about the bond reduction to 15 surety?
I just want to know where he's going to be living. He was putting NCIC in June, and it's not a most serious case in the world, but I don't want to have to put him in NCIC again. I want to know where he's living and have some contact information
not.
on him.
I think it was because he was in Somerset. That's why it hadn't been
I live
served.
in Somerset, sir.
Do what? It's a $15,000 surety now. What it
Yes,
is.
that's what, they don't have the assets to,
A
Post
$15,000 surety is not very much. So I'm not, since he had to be put in NCIC, I'm not gonna lower it more than $15,000 surety. Virtually anybody can make a $15,000 surety. They must not have very much confidence on whether Mr. Nethery has some rabbit blood in him or not. Okay,
I understand, Your Honor.
Mr. Craigie, rather, Mr. Craigie. Okay, thank you. Michael Lee Nethery is the next case. Commonwealth versus Michael Lee Nethery, 22 CR
No, I left my notepad back there.
0020. Mr. Nethery, were you born in 1964?
Yes.
What are the last four digits of your social security number?
8105.
Okay, this is a probation revocation. What does the Commonwealth have to say? Hello? This is Michael Lee Nethery.
Yes, Your Honor. I thought,
probation revocation.
I thought I'd need to call Mr. Garner, so I just stepped out here.
Well, what are the violations? They might
It's,
stipulate.
He's got a 7-year, 6 month sentence on traffic and controlled substance first degree. He tested positive for opiates on 7/29/22. He was referred to the SSC in outpatient treatment. On 8/7/22, he tested positive for meth again. 9/2/22, he tested positive for meth. Then he was terminated from SAP IOP because he failed to attend meetings. Then on 10/26/22, he tested positive for meth. He was sent to treatment on 11/8/22 long-term rehab. He was discharged on January 1st of 2023 because he left on his own accord. And there's where we are.
Did your client will stipulate?
Your Honor, I have spoken to Mr. Nethery and he does wish to stipulate to those violations, but he would ask to address the court as to why he left. And I do think it may be important for the court to hear the why.
Well, I'll hear that at sentencing.
Well, this
Or this is, it won't be a sentencing. This is probation revocation and non-diversion.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Mr. Nethery, can you explain to the judge why you left treatment?
I just have a hard talking about poison, man. You know, what's been going on, what's went on since September 21st.
What happened on September 21st? The judge isn't familiar, so you'll have to explain it.
My son passed through it.
And when your son passed away, is when you were in treatment, were you having to address that?
Yes.
And you had made it 54 days in treatment, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that hard for you to discuss?
Very much. Still is.
Do you understand why it's important for you to work through that with treatment?
I do.
If the judge were to give you an opportunity to go back to long-term treatment, would you stay and complete it even when it gets hard?
Do my best. I will.
And is it your desire to go back to long-term treatment?
I will do the best for me.
And you were the person that found your son, is that correct?
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Let me ask you a question. If he was the one that found his son, how did he find his son if he was in long-term grief?
No, I'm sorry, Your Honor. He had said his son passed away on 9/21/22. That was prior to him going to treatment. That was part of the reason his relapse was so significant.
Okay, I thought you meant that's the reason he left. I want to
No.
say, well, you told me, you could explain to me why he left. Why
Yes.
did he leave?
I left because I was having such a hard time talking about what had happened.
Okay,
Part of the treatment was to work through that trauma, and
what do you have to say, Mr. Stockton?
You know, I have a lot of empathy for Mr. Nethery. I'm sorry he lost his son. You know, I've got a first cousin, Your Honor, that I'm close to, grew up with him on the farm, and he's lost 2 sons to drugs. And he lost a granddaughter because she was 4 years old. And his son and the mother of the child were so high on dope while she was carrying that child. She had a congenital brain defect and she died when she was 5 years old. So it's not like my family's not experienced tragedy from drugs. But we have to go on, and you can't use that excuse to keep using drugs. And so he had 1, 2, 3 positives before he ever found his son, had another positive after he did. So.
And then he left long-term.
And he left long-term treatment. I'm sorry he's had these problems, but at some point in time, you've got to man up and do what you have to.
Well, they have programs in the penitentiary that might be more effective than this long-term treatment. So you have my sympathy on the loss of your son, but I'm going to revoke your probation. And I hope things turn around for you. Won't you stay out here with this? Commonwealth versus Thomas O'Neill for the purpose of arraignment. Thomas O'Donnell, excuse me. Thomas O'Donnell. Commonwealth versus Thomas O'Donnell, 22 CR 00103. Are you Thomas O'Donnell?
Yes, I am.
You were born in 1961.
Correct.
The last four digits of your social security number are 6733.
6773.
6773, okay. The Office of Public Advocacy has been appointed to represent you. You filled out a proper disclosure of assets, and the court has found that you are entitled to appointment. Ms. Costello is on. Have you had an opportunity to talk to this gentleman yet, Mr. Costello?
I have, Your Honor. I spoke to him Tuesday evening after I was appointed.
Okay. You're here for the purpose of arraignment. Mr. O'Donnell, you have the right to remain silent. The grand jury of Cumberland County has charged you with murder, a violation of KRS 507.020. Do you understand what that charge is?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Costello, do you acknowledge the identity of your client, receipt of the indictment, waive formal reading and arraignment, and enter a plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now this is a capital murder case. There has not been a designation as to whether you seek the death penalty or not. Is that correct?
I anticipate filing for enhancement at some point in time in the future, Your Honor. We're still waiting on some records. I think there's some phone records we need. I've got to confer with Detective Burton and see when
Okay,
we'll get
so
those.
we'll leave the issue of enhancement till a later date for motion by the Commonwealth. So I would think that setting a negotiation date or pretrial conference on the 23rd is a little early. Would you think that's the case?
Yes, Your Honor.
I would
So-
agree, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Costello, will you be handling this case or will you be transferring it to the unit?
Your Honor, even if our capital unit does become involved, I will remain as part of the team for
Okay.
Mr. O'Donnell.
I just wanted to make sure that for scheduling purposes. So we will schedule the next pretrial conference in this thing for March the 16th at 9 a.m. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
We can live with that. Raymond Oliver. Commonwealth versus Raymond Oliver.
Your Honor, I think that was the one that, oh, never mind. It is.
Commonwealth versus Raymond Oliver, 22 CR 00108. Are you Raymond Oliver?
Yes.
Were you born in 1969?
Yes.
Or the last four digits of your social security, 1975?
Yes.
You're here today in 22 CR 00108 for arraignment. The grand jury of Cumberland County has returned an indictment charging you with sodomy in the first degree, 2 counts. Rape, first degree, 1 count. Incest, 3 counts. Sodomy, the first degree, 80 counts. Rape, first degree, 10 counts. Incest, 90 counts. And sexual abuse, 1 account. Do you understand? You understand those, what those charges are?
Yes.
Okay. Counselor, do you acknowledge the receipt of the indictment, the identity of your client, waive formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You want to set this one out a little bit too? Are you ready on that?
I would think so. There's quite a bit of discovery and there's serious charges. I would say set it for March and give Ms. Costello time to digest it, and then we'll get a negotiation day.
Okay, let's set it
Yes.
for March 16th, the next pretrial. And if you get any closer to any settlement or anything, and you just let me know and we'll proceed. Okay, March 16th is the next court date. Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith. Commonwealth versus Jimmy Smith. 22 CR 0098. Are you Jimmy Smith?
Yes, Your Honor.
You born in 1987?
Yes, Your Honor.
Last four digits, social security number 2981.
Yes.
We're here for a pretrial conference. Do we have any agreement on this case?
Have a felony plea, Your Honor.
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Smith, a motion has been filed that said that you wish to enter a plea. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, Your Honor.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes.
Are you the same person named in indictment number 22 CR 0098?
Yes.
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No.
Have you discussed these matters with your attorney and are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you reviewed the evidence the Commonwealth has against you and do you think that you're fully informed about your case?
Yes.
You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea of guilty, I need to know that you fully understand those rights. You have the right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. You have a right to speedy trial by jury, the right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, the right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses in your favor, the right to bill this matter, higher court if you lose, and the right to require the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty of the charges against you. Do you understand that? By entering a plea of guilty, you give up all those rights. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence allowed by law.
Yes.
I do not have to accept it. Prior to accepting it, I will review the pre-sentence investigation report to be done by probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have the right to withdraw your plea of guilty and proceed to trial. What is the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Your Honor, Mr. Smith will be plead guilty possession of controlled substance first degree, receive a sentence of 3 years, probated for 5 years. The no insurance will be amended from a no insurance second to a no insurance first. He'll pay a $500 fine and cost at the discretion of the court. Once he's released, he'll obtain and maintain gainful employment in this case.
Is that what you agreed to?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, is anyone, including your attorney, threatened or coerced you in any way?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty of the acts as set out in the indictment or as it is amended?
Yes.
Okay. You plead guilty of your own free will because you are guilty and for no other reason.
Yes, that's it.
And knowing your constitutional rights to explain to, is it still your desire to give up those rights, enter a plea of guilty to the charges and allow the court to fix your punishment within the ranges permitted by law?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that after entering a plea of guilty, any convictions in the future could be enhanced as far as the range of penalty under persistent felony offender law.
Yes.
Counsel, will you hold the agreement up to the camera there? Is that your signature on there?
That's it.
Okay, I'll accept the agreement, order pre-sentence investigation report for a scheduled hearing on February 23rd.
Your Honor, when we were here in December, this court reduced Mr. Smith's bond to a 5,000 surety with an ankle monitor. His family has not been able to pay for the ankle monitor. Would the court consider allowing him to do that on a curfew where he doesn't leave home except for work, church, or the doctor?
He's entered a probation. I'll do that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hey, now, Mr. Smith, I'm gonna tell you. You need to live at the foot of the cross between now and then. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
He needs to have a job too, but sentence.
Yeah, it's by sentencing, if you had a job, it'll help you.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
You know, you look like you're an able-bodied person. You need to get out there and get you a lot of people wanting somebody to work. And I think that'll help pass your time up, okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Tyler Weber. Commonwealth versus Tyler Weber, 22 CR 00111. You're here today for the purpose of arraignment. Mr. Weber, what's your year of birth?
It's 1995,
What are the last 4 digits of your social security number?
9575.
You have don't have counsel here today. Have you filled out an affidavit?
Yeah, I think Samantha Costello was my lawyer.
Okay, I'll continue the appointment then. You have the right to remain silent. The grand jury of Cumberland County has charged you with possession of controlled substance in the first degree methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia. and public intoxication. Do you understand what those charges are?
Yes,
Counselor, you acknowledge the identity of your client, receive the indictment, waive formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll set a negotiation date on February 17th and the next court date on the 23rd. James Whitlow. Commonwealth versus James Whitlow, 22 CR 0083. Are you James Whitlow?
yes, Your Honor.
Born in 1985.
Yes,
What are the last four digits of your social security number?
2662.
Here on a pretrial conference today. Is there anything to announce?
I don't think we have an agreement. I could just ask for a trial date, Your Honor, if you're ready to give us one.
What is the charge?
He's got a kidnapping charge. The main charge, I believe, will be a traffic and controlled substance for he had 9 grams of meth in his possession allegedly.
Yes, we've been negotiating this case, Your Honor, and I think we're close, but we're not quite there yet. If the court would like to set a trial date, I understand, or if the court would consider allowing one more settlement day.
I mean, what do you mean close?
We're within a couple of years.
What have you offered?
As Regis used to say, final answer, my final offer is 9 years to serve on the Class C felony and drop the PFO. He's got a PFO first. So if he's found guilty on the kidnapping or the trafficking, he's looking at 20 probably at least.
Ms. Costello?
And my client was at 6 last night, Your Honor, so I
Well,
think
you heard the final offer was 9.
I did.
Okay. Okay, we'll set it for trial. This is in my trial document.
Your Honor, I've got an agreed order to tender to you on the February 21st on Bronny Bays because the Commonwealth's not ready on that case. It looks like there's another person needs.
Let me set a trial date on this.
Yeah, I didn't know if you want to use that date or if you want to go out farther.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
What was the continuation on Ronnie Beach?
It looks like there's another individual needs to be indicted. And when we got the bank records, they only have the front of the checks. They don't have where they're endorsed, who endorsed the check. So we're going to have to go back and get those. So we're not going to be able to be ready on the 21st in that case. We've got Mr. Hunley, Mr. Judd,
What was that date?
February the 21st. I don't think Ms. Costello will have a conflict because she's representing Mr. Bays.
Yes, I had that day set aside for Mr. Bays, so I am available that day, Your Honor.
Yeah, this is 22 CR 0083.
I think so. I didn't have my file out here.
Is that correct? Great.
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll have a trial that day. Okay, great. Commonwealth versus Trey White. Are you Trey White?
Yes, Your Honor.
You year of birth 2002?
Yes, Your Honor.
What are the last four digits of your social security number?
9817.
You're here today for a diversion revocation in 22 CR 0076. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Mr. Wright, Your Honor.
Okay, you're right.
Mr. Wright has tested positive 3 times for methamphetamine use. He was sent to treatment and he stayed all of 1 day and left. Originally in this case, the victim wanted him to get treatment. And you know how hard it is. We have to go through steps on this case. So I'm amenable to putting him in drug court if that's what the court wants to do, or if we need to have a hearing, I can.
Your Honor, I've spoken to Mr. Wright. I think that the new sheriff, that Officer Garner and Mr. Stockton on this, and if the court will allow, we would very much like drug court. I do think with Mr. Wright's age, it would be very beneficial to him to be able to get on the right path and get sober.
What about it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to try drug court or you just want to go ahead and get your time out of the way?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to try drug court.
Okay. Well, we'll give you a shot. You already had a pretrial diversion. Now your second time you're having an opportunity to avoid being a convicted felon. So a word to the wise is sufficient. You know,
Yes,
you
Your Honor.
don't need to mess this one up or you're going. You understand what
Oh,
I'm saying?
I won't.
Okay, I'll sign the referral to drug court. And then I will release you when you get your drug court orientation schedule, okay? Is there any other matter to come before the circuit court? Okay, that concludes this session. We'll be back in at 1 o'clock.
11, we have show calls.
11, we'll have show calls at 11. I can't hear you. You